watching Brand Equity and I'm Sonali Krishna. Now, innovation is the defining competitive advantage for the next decade and beyond. And more companies, governments and consumers all see innovation as a necessary reason. While everyone agrees on this, people have differing views on how this is defined. To some, innovation is about product launches. To some, it's about financial measures like improving margins. To some, it's about technology and patents, and to others, it's about creativity. To simplify this, we bring you a high-profile panel of the likes of Hemant Sachdev, Joint Managing Director, Microsoft, Hari Krishnan, Country Manager, LinkedIn, Porus Munshi, founder, Making Breakthroughs Happen, and Venki Mysore, CEO of Kolkata Knight Riders. Moderating this panel is none other than Chandramouli Venkatesan, Executive Director, Chocolates and Strategy, Cadbury. Take it away.
The first question, and hence it flows to say, what is disruptive innovation as opposed to normal innovation, if that's the opposite, and how do we kind of get our hands around being disruptive? Hari, you want to just give an example of what you have seen in recent times?
I think disruptive innovation, to your point, is a term that's often misused. It's everyone tends to believe there's a disruption if there's an incremental innovation of any kind. An example that comes to mind is actually the creation of social media itself. So we've seen the web really move, rather the internet move from a period of what's been known as the World Wide Web, where everything was open, to these walled gardens, places like Facebook and LinkedIn, where people are putting in a username and password and entering this sort of safe enclosure, if you like, where they realize that any interaction is linked to trust and reputation. And this disruption has resulted in so many industries being, for lack of a better word, disrupted. We've seen media being thrown up by Facebook and Twitter and the like. We've seen games with companies such as Zynga. And at LinkedIn, we like to believe we've disrupted the talent economy.
Venki, you want to share any quick example of disruptive innovation?
Sure. To me, it's an easy answer. It's basically 3 letters, which is IPL. Some would argue that it is more disruption than innovation. Just catching the imagination of the public with a product, which is itself, I mean, T20 was not a new innovation in India, but the way it was packaged was brand new. I think it caught the imagination of the public, and for a market and an environment like India to be able to create that here was certainly disruptive, I would think.
IPL has truly disrupted as an innovation and our lives between April and May, I guess. What has really struck you as some remarkable stuff you have seen?
You see, most organizations in an industry work in one paradigm, they have results in one paradigm, and then comes an organization that completely redefines the performance paradigm. One example is perhaps Dainik Bhaskar. Across the newspaper world, it's supposed to be that you can't be a leader in a new city. It takes at least 5 years to be a leader. And these folks came in and had the aspiration of being a leader from day one. And city after city after city after city, leaders from day one, on the day of launch. It's a complete redefining of paradigms. Only one city they failed, and that was Bombay, and I think the people who stopped them was Times of India.
Hemant, anything you want to share on some examples you have seen?
Since innovation and disruptive innovation is so broad, I want to take an example also of my past life in telecom. This was an industry that was stuck at about 1.82 million customers a month, and it was stuck for about 18 months at that level before lifetime prepaid came. And lifetime prepaid was not about reducing prices. In fact, very few people know that prices actually were taken up. The rate per minute was taken up. But it was packaged in a very innovative, disruptive way, where there was no longer any validity for prepaid. The market moved at that time from 1.82 million a month to 10 million a month, and for the first time in any category beating China. Today that same category is at 15 million.
So really we're talking of quantum of impact and creating quantum of impact through insight, through challenging the norm, and by creating a new market. And it all sounds very easy, Hemant, but how do you make it happen? How do you do such a stuff?
Fundamentally, there needs to be greed for growth. The second is, you sort of inviting completely crazy ideas. In fact, the best ones scare the CFO and excite the marketing guy.
I mean, those are the big barriers in conventional organizations, right, Porus?
Most organizations look at linearity as a method of growth rather than leapfrogs. That's one. And second is your insights are largely from your current ecosystem, and that's going to be fairly limiting. One interesting example is with Brazil. And there was a toilet paper company over there, Kimberly-Clark. And it was a fairly saturated market. A new CEO came in and he said, look guys, I want 50% growth. So they said, you're bonkers. How can you have 50% growth in a toilet market that's saturated? I mean, you can't ask people to do more of it, can you? So they actually went in asking people over there that what are your toilet habits? And very interestingly, men would retreat to the toilet to escape from the family in the morning and read the newspaper over there. And what did they read in the newspaper? The cartoon strip, the comic strip. So a light went on somebody's head. And on the toilet rolls, they printed cartoon strips or comic strips. So typically what would happen is that the guy would read, finish a strip, he hasn't finished his morning business, read some more, read some more, read some more, and having read, he can't put it back, so we tear it away. The market increased the next year, not 50%, but 30%. Just that simple insight and that single challenge that I want 50% growth, find a way of doing it.
And one example I would like to share on leveraging a trend, I mean, one of the big trends in India is modern trade and how that's building up. And really, we asked ourselves, how is it that we are changing our product portfolio given modern trade? Yeah. And one of the challenges with chocolates always was that, India is a very hot country and chocolates melt very easily. And the one thing that modern trade allowed was air-conditioned environments and gave us the license to create products which were a lot more fragile, And hence we created Cadbury Dairy Milk Silk, which wasn't possible if modern trade hadn't happened. So really one of the important things that you need to ask yourself is, if there is a trend in the market, has your strategy changed?